Welcome back to the Good Movement Draws Good Movement podcast. Full disclosure, you may have already heard this episode because it is a rerun. We are re-airing this episode for a couple of reasons. First, it's a great episode. It's got a lot of good information in it. And in my humble opinion, it's worth hearing again. I know I needed to. And second, spoiler alert, it's on boundaries. And I needed to set some boundaries this week that I'm recording this intro for this episode. We record episodes 2 weeks ahead of the date that they air. And at this juncture in my life, I needed to set some boundaries for my mental, emotional, physical well-being. And so I decided that one of those boundaries would be to not record a new episode, but re-air a super valuable episode instead. And with that, I hope you enjoy the show.
I'll carry you, you carry me, we'll help each other through it. Come on and see, good movement draws good movement.
Welcome to Good Movement Draws Good Movement, the podcast where farmers, ranchers, and rural folks can grow relationally through awareness, understanding, and effective communication. Hey, it's T. I'm your host, and I, along with my guests, will be covering topics related to drawing good movement. Things like self and social awareness, brain science, positive psychology, extending grace, and so much more. We'll share tools that can help you understand why you are the way you are, why others are the way they are, and how you can use that to step out of self-told lies with grace and compassion to draw good movement in conversations, relationships, and life in rural America. Let's go draw good movement. Welcome back to the Good Movement Draws Good Movement podcast. If you are an avid listener to this cast pod, as a friend refers to it, you may have picked up on the fact that I often record episodes inspired by whatever's going on in real time prior to my recording deadline. Events that have taken place, topics that have come up in conversation, etc. And today's episode is no different. Today, we're talking about something that's so important in communication, relationships, and good movement. It's also something I think that gets overlooked or gets a bad rap sometimes. That something is boundaries. And this episode is inspired by a recent conversation with a friend about mom guilt. She sent me a message last week that read something like this. I'm paraphrasing. Last year, after VBS, I was overwhelmed and burned out. And after 6 years of helping and or teaching, I decided it was time for a break, and I'm not teaching this year. But when I dropped the kids off this morning, I felt so guilty. Like the mom guilt is eating me alive. Those were not her exact words. That's my paraphrase. I added that mom guilt is eating me alive because I've experienced mom guilt, and that's kind of what it feels like. Now, I can't remember in what order I said the following, but I told her, I'm proud of you for being self-aware enough to recognize that you needed a break, and I'm proud of you for taking the break. And mom guilt is real, and it sucks. Now, whether you're a mom or not, as humans, when it comes to setting and holding boundaries, we can easily fall into feelings of guilt or even let those feelings of guilt hold us back from holding the boundary. We feel guilty that we're not doing what other people are asking from us. We're not participating, whatever it may be. We can even feel selfish when we do hold the boundary, which does not help with the guilt. We think we're wronging others by saying no or doing what's best for us and our mental and emotional well-being. But you know what? Setting and holding boundaries is actually one of the kindest things we can do for others because it's one of the kindest things we can do for ourselves. Good movement draws good movement, and good movement starts with us. If we're not in a good place, that's not going to be good for others. And when we don't hold boundaries, we tend to harbor anger and resentment, and it tends to build, and it then boils over onto those around us. And that's not good, my friends. Boundaries are limits, fences, if you will. We're going to go with the fence analogy because this is an agricultural podcast. So there you have it. But boundaries are limits or fences that you set for what's acceptable for you, your energy, your body, your mind, your emotions, your time. They're what's acceptable for you. Contrary to popular belief, and by popular belief, I totally mean what I used to think boundaries were. Boundaries are not rules for other people. Boundaries are not rules for someone else and how they should act or live their life. Just like good movement, a good boundary starts with us. It's recognizing what we're feeling in our body, what emotions are coming to the surface, being willing to listen to what those emotions are trying to communicate to us and honoring that and proceeding accordingly. Just like a fence, boundaries can be permanent, temporary, or invisible. And what I mean by that is you can set a boundary that is really sturdy and firm and permanent, like hard to move. You might not ever move it or pull it out or any of that, like continuous fence. It's metal fence with pipe posts and concrete in the ground. That ain't going to budge. That is a hard boundary. Or it can be barbed wire, which is permanent, but more easily taken out and moved and adjusted. Or it can be temporary, like the fence that Tom and I are putting up for our cattle that we're grazing on our intensive meadow rotation this summer. It's a string fence with step-in posts. It gets moved frequently, like it's easily put in and taken out. Or it can be invisible. And what I mean by invisible fence when it comes to boundaries is you don't have to speak your boundaries. You don't have to have a no trespassing sign up. No one else needs to know that the boundary is there. You just need to know. And then you need to hold that. So that might look like just excusing yourself from a conversation. You didn't say, I'm not willing to talk about that, so please don't talk about that around me. You just stepped out. And that's okay. And honestly, that for me, for setting my own boundaries, some of them are definitely the continuous fence with the no trespassing sign posted. But some of them, a lot of them, are just unspoken boundaries that I know about and I adhere to. And continuing on in our fence analogy, you can go around your fence and assess it periodically. So with your boundaries, you can take a look at that, get curious about it, assess it, change it, take it down. You have the power to do that. Just because you set a boundary doesn't mean it's a forever boundary. Maybe you're going through a period of some pretty deep healing right now, and you're going to have more boundaries than a year or two down the road when that healing has happened and you're through it. Then you can take down some of those boundaries. So boundaries don't have to be forever and they don't have to be spoken. And if you take only one thing away from this episode, let it be this. Boundaries are one of the kindest things you can do for others because they are one of the kindest things you can do for yourself. Going back to the conversation with my friend, I also encouraged her and told her, I understand that you're feeling guilty, but if you had gone ahead and taught VBS this year, feeling the way that you were feeling last year and knowing that feeling had not subsided, those kids would have picked up on that. And it's the same in our adult relationships. You might think that you're being helpful and you might think that you are meeting the needs of others by doing, even though you were ignoring the feelings of anger or not wanting to do it, but you're not because other people pick up on that. And like I said, that anger and resentment, it boils on over to other people. So with that, Until next time, hold those boundaries and draw good movement. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm so grateful for you. If you found value in this episode, I'd love for you to share with others who might also benefit from tuning in. Share by word of mouth, send it in a text, take a screenshot and post it on social media, or share however you prefer. And if you haven't already, hit the follow or subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Until next time, draw good movement.